Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to the 74th episode of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. So, the other day, my husband and I decided to meditate together. We don't usually do that. But anyway, it was sort of comical, but also eye-opening for both of us. I mean, we've both been using the Calm app, which is so good and has several new to meditation programs. So if you don't meditate, it's a good app. It's the CALM Calm app, and I'll put that in the show notes. But anyway, the program we've been using has you really focusing on your equanimity, which is basically being open and easy about everything. And if you're meditating, if there's unwanted noises or distractions, then welcome them in and continue your practice. So, which is hard to do. So here we are during our 11-minute meditation, and all of a sudden our little Yorkie hears a noise and is barking her head off at the front door. Now remember, we're working on welcoming distractions and continuing to meditate. So through her barking, my thought went to, oh man, this has got to be annoying him. So I open one eye and look at him, and he's just sitting there all calm with his eyes closed, like he doesn't even hear her barking. So I was so inspired to do the same thing, and we just finished our meditation and kind of went on with our day. Well, a little later, I mentioned to him how impressed I was with how well he meditated through the chaos of Kinsey barking. I mean, I think she literally was flinging herself at the door. Anyway, he laughed and he said, well, I opened one eye to see how you were handling it, and you were so calm and peacefully still meditating that it motivated me to continue to do the same. So both of us had inspired the other without ever even knowing it. And I thought that was kind of a fun story to tell, because so often we have no idea who we're touching throughout the day. I mean, with a smile or maybe our habits or work ethic, whatever we're doing, just realize you may be inspiring someone and not even know it. All right. So after last week's challenge, have you been trying something new? Have you thought about something that you can do that challenges you? I hope so. I mean, something I have noticed and I've talked about before is women often tend to look outside of themselves for energy or confidence. I mean, they might look to their husband, their friends, their mom, any different sources we have. So sometimes we don't even notice that we're doing that. But I just wanted to remind you today that you have the power inside you to not only inspire other people, but also to inspire yourself, to be your own source of power and inspiration. I was having an entrepreneur club meeting on Saturday with my friend Brooke, and we were talking about empowering thoughts, and she said, I am my own power source. And I love that so much. I thought I would incorporate it into an episode. So thank you, Brooke, for that. All right. But what does that really mean? Being your own power source. It doesn't mean doing everything on your own. Sometimes you think that, but that's not what it means. In fact, knowing that you need help and asking for it is a very powerful tool that a lot of women just don't use, and they don't realize that it helps them to be their own power source. Another tool that is super empowering is admitting that you don't know the answer when you don't know the answer. There's power in saying, you know what? I don't know, so let me do a little digging and I'll get back with you. That's perfectly okay and actually really empowering to use. I mean, being your own power source also means knowing when it's time to rest, and not just knowing, but then taking that time and actually resting. Even if it's for a 20-minute reset, there isn't a badge of honor for running yourself into the ground. You're not doing yourself or anyone else any favors. Being your own power source also means recognizing that self-care is more important than anything else. I mean, putting yourself first is a tool so many women just neglect. Self-care looks different for each of us, and only you can define it. But do you know what that looks like for you? I mean, do you have a set standard for yourself? Self-care includes mental and physical health. And we're noticing more lately that mental health is becoming something that we really have to focus on. It's super empowering to set and keep a standard for self-care. And it can be fluid. Like, that standard's going to be fluid, especially if you've neglected it. I remember when I started really deciding to get in shape, I was about 30% body fat, and my goal was just to get below 30%. Now, I started exercising, and I noticed how much better I felt and how much better my clothes looked, and my standard just kept getting higher. So now I'm working in the 20% body fat range, and that's my standard. So meet yourself where you are right now and be okay with that. And, just say, you know what? Where can I be this time next week? Just set that standard. Just let that be your threshold. Don't allow yourself to go any further than where you are right now if it's not where you want to be. So what can I do this week that casts a vote for who I want to be or where I want to be, who I identify as being? It also means saying no to toxic relationships. Now, I looked up the word toxic so we can all understand just what a toxic relationship is, because it's thrown around. That word toxic is thrown around quite a bit. So it means poisonous, harmful, very bad, or unpleasant. We're all imperfect and we all have faults. And if you throw away friends for having faults, you'd have no friends and no one would be your friend either. Because we all have faults. So toxic, though, means relationships that actually harm you. And you have to decide for yourself what that looks like. Now, I love to have a variety of friends. And just to make sure, you have to know that my standards are my standards. And I have to have the strength and the power to keep those standards even if others don't. So why don't you be the standard bearer of your friend group? You're strong enough to do that. I promise you are. So this week, my challenge for you is to meet yourself where you are and to take a look at your habits and decide if those habits are working towards empowering you or are they working towards weakening you. If you notice that you have more habits that weaken you, then maybe try to add in one good habit that empowers you, like journaling, meditation, listening to empowering podcasts like mine. Eventually, you may see the other habits aren't so enticing anymore. When you fuel your body and your mind with empowering thoughts and messages, you'll find your tolerance for the other stuff may go down, which I don't think is a bad thing. I just want us all to be able to say with confidence, I am my own power source. It feels so good and so empowering. Don't forget to scroll down, hit subscribe, and leave us a review. Okay, guys, I love you, and I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.